Well, hello, you're very welcome to the Irish Independence League of Ireland review. I'm joined tonight by Dan McDonnell, live from Tallaght Stadium. I'm up here in Belfast in Windsor Park. And Dan, it's an absolutely incredible night for Irish football, a historic night for Irish football. For the first time ever, we have two League of Ireland teams in European group stage football in the same season. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking we might have to rename it as the Conference League review. It's not actually the League of Ireland review, because I would imagine the way the magic, the UEFA fixture calendar works, they need everything streamlined for TV purposes and so on. And Tallaght can't be, there won't be games moved to Tuesday. I'd imagine you're going to have six nights, 2 in October, 2 in November, 2 in December, where you've got Shamrock Rovers and Shells both in action. So yeah, it's extraordinary stuff. Like I often feel like on this beat that sometimes you just want to be talking about, say, football and the matches and the details, but it feels so often that everything gets wrapped into the bigger picture, and you just can't avoid it. With this tonight, that to have two clubs go through in a week where the situation that the FAI is quite stark, where the academy audit presentation you were at yesterday was quite stark in a lot of ways, and yet in the midst of it all, we have this historic achievement that I've been making the point on social that while you can attribute a certain amount of it to the evolution, the introduction of the Conference League, which some great teams from the past would have loved, and the fact is, like 12 years ago, League of Ireland clubs didn't win a single 90-minute match in a European season, never mind a tie. And I appreciate there was good years around that, but in that particular year, the league, I think, was the lowest performing league in the entirety of Europe. So to get to a stage, 12 years later, where teams are consistently winning, that's something that I think everyone involved can be proud of, even if obviously fans of some clubs are going to be a lot happier than fans of others.
Especially after the two results tonight. A couple of us were talking in the mix zone here, Windsor Park, about the possible draw on Friday afternoon, possible trips to the likes of Crystal Palace, Azad, Alkmaar, Fiorentina, and not just having one Irish club in it, but two 12 league phase games, €7.5 million in prize money. And as you said, it comes off the back of a turbulent week for Irish football, as you mentioned there. But it just kind of shows you what is possible for Irish football for the road ahead, I suppose.
Yeah, it does. It can't be too Anglo-centric. There's better trips than bloody Crystal Palace. And I know there'll be sort of a nice storylines to it, but it's definitely like better places. You can broaden your horizons a little bit. They've been to Shamrock Rovers have been to London last year against Chelsea. So yeah, but no, look, it's a great conversation to have. And I think, look, to bring it back to the football side of it for me, I mean, you can talk about Windsor Park, but I think the thing I would find probably most satisfying about it is that there wasn't really luck involved. Yes, in this game here, there was an amazing Ed McGinty save. Maybe the luck for Shelbourne was just a draw and getting Linfield twice. I accept that, but they pushed Rijeka quite close. I think the consistent level across 8 weeks or 6 weeks. Rovers had one bad game in Balkany away, but they've gone through unbeaten effectively. I think Shells for a team that hasn't been there before to go and kill the game early in Windsor Park. And I think that just reflects maturity and how the teams have played. And I would say about the game here, coming in, I met a lot of people involved with Rovers. I think I mentioned in the blog, and how are you getting on? I'll tell you in 2.5 hours. They were nervous, really apprehensive, but that wasn't visible on the pitch. Yeah, there was a little bit of panic in the last 20 minutes. I guess that's inevitable. Couple of swipe clearances and so on, but in general, and having been there last week, again, I come back to maturity and discipline, good decisions. Like in these games, you have to make hundreds of good decisions, and they made a lot of good decisions. And beating a team from a top-ranked league, they may not be one of the best teams within it, but still, you don't want to be too pedantic and picking away at stuff, because we have come from a very low bar here, and these players, this management, particularly at Rovers, you have to say, over the last couple of years, they've raised the bar.
Which sounds kind of similar to Shelbourne here tonight. I know you were at the Champions League clash here in Belfast last month, and that was an absolute rollercoaster game with, VAR decisions, sending offs, etc., etc. But I think the key for Shelbourne tonight was just to make it a boring game, a stress-free evening, and 2 goals up inside 30 minutes just sucked the life out of Linfield. A lot of Linfield fans leaving early, booed at half-time, booed at full-time, and a night that could have been a potential banana skin just turned into a real procession for Shelbourne. Like, they knew the tie was over with 60 minutes remaining, and the Shells fans across the way from us, 1,200 of them, they had an hour and a bit just to celebrate and jeer every pass the Linfield were making. A night that could have been so chaotic wasn't, and that's exactly what Joey O'Brien and his Shelbourne players were hoping for. Game over in half an hour, and yeah, European group stage. Obviously, for Shamrock Rovers, it's a third qualification in 4 seasons. For Shelbourne, it's a little bit different. Their first ever European group stage qualification in their 130-year history. So, yeah, speaking to Joey O'Brien after the game, and we should obviously mention a very, very sad day for Ollie Horgan's family as well. Lots of really beautiful tributes throughout the league across the day, and I know Stephen Bradley was talking about in his post-match. Joey O'Brien made a real point to say it feels really fitting on such a historic night for Irish football. It seems really fitting, and he said hopefully Ollie is smiling down on Irish football this evening. So yeah, really emotional night for a lot of reasons, I suppose.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. I mean, and he's in all of our thoughts today, and it's sort of it's just like, we've all been very recently speaking to Ollie after games, and people who know him a lot better than me who've been in contact with him very regularly. So it's it's very, very hard to get your head around that. And yeah, look, it's something that everyone has spoken about. I should also mention it here in Tallaght. I mean, this is, I suppose, it's the other side of things. You have the round of applause for Josh Bradley in the 11th minute, and he was there for the celebrations afterwards, and Stephen Bradley was very, very moved by that. But yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to wrap it up. I mean, at this moment, and the Shelbourne story is remarkable. You can't sort of downplay it from where that club was. You go back to COVID and getting relegated in that game, that playoff match when they were sort of a rabble, and to be here now, sort of almost, as you said, coasting through the groups. And to me, the last year was a memorable title race with Damien Duff and all of that, that force of personality and that sort of fairy tale story of Shells winning it. And there's a mad legacy from it now, is because Shells won that league against all the odds, it sent Rovers down this non-champions route that they've been good enough to negotiate. And I'm not sure it's going to be hard for other clubs to do that. If Rovers regain the title, you have to accept that. So this could be a one-off until maybe other clubs can really move along. But that is, I mean, that title race last year was memorable, and yeah, as we wrap up now, I suppose this is a fairly spectacular postscript to it.
Joey O'Brien speaking post-match there about he's looking forward to having a celebratory beer with Damien Duff to celebrate their achievement in the not-too-distant future. And I'm sure there's a lot of Shells fans who will be doing the exact same tonight and across the weekend. So, Dan, we'll leave you there from Tallaght and from Belfast. Thanks for watching, and you can follow all the latest European reaction on the Irish Independent on a historic night for Irish football.